Hello, everyone. Oh, there we
Readers
go.
Entertainment Radio presents Book Lights with your host, author Lisa Kessler. Book Lights, where we're shining a light on good books.
Hello, everyone. Little technical difficulty because it's Monday. It's also Monday right before Christmas. If you celebrate, everyone's rushing around. And I'm so excited because we have a great holiday book to talk about today and get you all in the mood. And if you don't have a copy yet, I hope you'll run out and grab a copy right away. So our guest today is New York Times bestseller Lisa Renee Jones. Another Lisa, yay, Team Lisa. And if you have not read her yet, I'm going to go ahead and read her bio and get you guys all up to speed. Lisa Renee Jones is New York Times and USA Today best-selling author of the highly acclaimed Inside Out series. In addition to the success of Lisa's Inside Out series, the Tall, Dark, and Deadly series and the Secret Life of Amy Benson series both spent several months on the combination New York Times and USA Today best-selling lists. Her other best-selling series include Dirty Rich and White Lies. So she has a lot of books out there for you to binge read over the holiday, guys. Prior to publishing, Lisa owned a multi-state staffing agency and was recognized many times by the Austin Business Journal and also praised by the Dallas Women's Magazine. In 1998, Lisa was listed as the number 7 growing women-owned business and entrepreneur magazine. Lisa loves to hear from her readers, and I did put a link to her website right there on the Blog Talk page. So if you're listening live, go ahead and click that. You can sign up for her newsletter, check out all the books, and she's also active on Twitter and Facebook every day. So check in. Lisa, are you there?
I am here. Hi, everyone.
Yay! And you're in Texas right now, aren't you?
No, I'm in Colorado. Yeah, I'm from Texas, but I live in Colorado.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So it's very cold there right now, right?
No, it's crazy. I texted my son in Texas. I'm like, well, why is it warmer here than it is there? I mean, it's crazy. We're having like a weird warmth spell. It was 63 yesterday. So.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm in San Diego, and it was warmer where you are. What?
I know. How can this even be? I mean, I grew up in Texas where I wore shorts every Christmas. One of the things I love about Colorado is the seasons. But no, we're not doing the season thing this year, apparently.
No white Christmas for you.
Well, we have snow left over from a couple weeks ago, and it does not go away quickly, even with this. So we still have snow on the ground, but it's not the same. And but we're very whiplash here. I mean, we're going to be in the 30s next week, so that's how it is. But we're also at a very high altitude, so people don't realize that when it's like 30 here, it feels like 40 someplace else. It feels much warmer here than other places. So the only time it really feels cold is once we get down in the 20s. Then it feels cold.
Yeah. So tell us about Tangled Up in Christmas. Christmas cowboys, right?
It is. So I'm from Texas. So I based it in Texas because I thought that was fun to go back to my Texas roots. Family and just I grew up in a school that we called it a kicker school, so everybody was cowboys, and I joined ag because all the hot guys were in there, and raised hogs because of that kind of thing. Nobody who knows me now would think you raise hogs, yes. So what's fun about this story is it's based in a little town called Sweetwater, Texas, which is a real town. But I didn't know it was a real town, even though I'm from Texas. I know that's crazy. So it's real, and I started getting all these emails and stuff from people who knew Sweetwater, which was really fun. I have one particular reader who brought me some really cool stuff from Sweetwater when I was at a signing. So cool. So cute little town. And so it was fun to get back to all my Texas, roots and bring that to the story. I hope that people will enjoy that part of it for sure. And it's a second chance romance. So they have a history. Yeah. So I always think, that in the holiday spirit, I thought a second chance was great because isn't that what a holiday is all about? Bringing people back together. So,
Yeah.
There's
Well,
yeah.
and for me as a romance reader, I love enemies to lovers, and I love second chance romances. I eat them up. There's something about the angst of how have we changed and how's it going to be different this time, and it's like catnip for me.
Yeah, and in this case, in this town, there's anytime you've got small town, you've got a lot of family connection too. And I think that with the holiday, family is always at the top of our list, the good and the bad and the ugly, right? I mean, there's always those family dramas, but that's in a small town, I think it's highlighted even more because everybody knows everybody's business. It's kind of like taking a family and making it a little bit bigger, Though I'm from Austin, so I'm from a bigger city, but you get a lot of small town feel anytime you're in Texas, I think. I mean, Austin, we always used to say it was a big city pretending to be a small town. So when I grew up, it still was that. So.
Mhm. Yeah, I have a friend who lives in Elgin, which is right outside of Austin, and when I went to visit her, I loved Austin. It's such a great town. They have everywhere to keep Austin weird, and it's just an interesting corner of Texas.
It is. I mean, one of the things I always loved about Austin was all the different people that are there. I mean, you find everyone. So I grew up in a place where it was a very accepting, wonderful place because there was so much diversity there in every possible way. But I mean, you leave and you go to another city in Texas, and they're very different. Austin's kind of this, when they say keep Austin weird, it's even weird for the part of Texas, but we loved that about it. But, yeah. So, I mean, but Texas still, I mean, when you come down to it, I mean, it's cowboy boots but don't get me wrong, there's always the cowboy boots and billionaires who are in, pickup trucks. And like, you can never judge anybody in Texas by, are they in cowboy boots and a pickup truck? Because they could be, one of the many Texas, very wealthy people who never get out of, they never get out of cowboy boots, and they're always going to be in their pickup truck. They don't care how much money they have. So that's a great thing about Texas, though, because isn't that kind of a uniter that we all seem, down to earth, So I love that about writing a Texas story, to bring that part of it out. I mean, of course, there's assholes and am I supposed to say that? Sorry, but jerks in every place. But in Texas, there's usually a lot of manners and a lot of good eating and a lot of good people. It's
now,
hot.
This book, Tangled Up in Christmas, is book 2 of Texas Heat, right? Do you know how many books there's going to be in the series?
Probably just 2 because of my writing schedule. We had talked about doing a couple more, and I had wanted to do a few more, but I just think it's going to be too long before I get to them. So these are 2 best friends, and you don't have to read them in order, but so the 2 guys that are the heroes, they're very different, and so the hero in Tangled Up in Christmas, he is what you would call a horse whisperer, though for the books we call him a horse wrangler because of trademark issues, but horse whisperer. And he's a veterinarian, and he travels around to other places outside of Sweetwater to actually help take care of special horse needs. But then there's actually horses brought into him too for that too, for health reasons and racing horses and all of that. So he's a much more gentler soul than the hero from The Truth About Cowboys, because The Truth About Cowboys, he's kind of, he is a jerk, but because he's had a lot of loss and pain and that kind of thing. So, it's always great when the guy who's a jerk becomes not such a jerk because a woman, saves him. And that's what The Truth About Cowboys
makes him into a better man.
She does. He's also a pro baseball player who his parents died in a plane crash, and he came back to find out that they were in a lot of trouble, and he ends up, kind of walking away from his baseball career, and she actually brings him back to it, rather than holding him back. She makes him step back up and realize that, he can step out of his grief into, his success without feeling guilt for going on with life. So, I mean, it's really a story about healing. And I think that, Tangled Up in Christmas is too, because despite the fact that it's a second chance romance, there's also a lot of family pain and heartache there that, between the two of them, they find their way back to each other. And through all that family drama, actually bring a lot of people back together. I mean, the holidays, always you hope that there are time when you unite. For some reason, the rest of the year we don't, but at Christmas time we get past all of those things, or whatever holiday you celebrate.
True.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, holidays tend to bring families back together, and forgiveness goes hand in hand with that.
You hope, not always, but at least in Tangled Up in Christmas, there's a good happily ever after. And, I think I tried to put in things that really make it, it actually starts with Halloween. So there's a big Halloween party. And so it goes all the way through the holidays, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then it ends with Christmas. So, yeah.
Yeah, I write paranormal, so Halloween is like my time of year. So if it starts on Halloween, you got me.
I used to write paranormal. I love paranormal, and my husband believes that Halloween is the best holiday ever, and it is a holiday.
Oh,
and he loves paranormal stuff
it is.
Too. Yeah, yeah, paranormal is fun. I love reading it and writing it, and we were just talking about Sherilyn Kenyon before we came on, and
we were.
Oh
yeah.
God, I gobbled up her books just back to back. I remember when Asher came out on audio, and I was like, and Holter Graham was reading it, and I'm like, I can't wait. And I was like so absorbed with that book. And I'm a huge Holter Graham audio fan. So having him read that, he did such a great job. So I'm sure there are plenty of people who are listening who know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Holter and Sherilyn together, what a combination.
Yeah.
She has such a sense of humor to her writing. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
She does. Well, I was going to say, I asked her once if she listens to her audiobooks because he's so fabulous. And it was so funny. She said she has a phobia about hearing her stuff read out loud because when she was younger and writing, one of her brothers picked up her stuff and was teasing her with it, reading it out loud. So she said even when they go to joint signings where he's with her, if he says he's going to read some of her stuff, she's like, nope, I'm leaving the room. So she's never heard her audiobook. So I was like, what?
I can't listen to all of them, but my probably my biggest series and the one that's been like in development in Hollywood forever. I mean, I guess I should say that's good because it's not out of development and it's actually kind of moving again. But is my Inside Out series, and so the narrator for that is Grace Grant, and I swear she was at her best reading that, because what was great for me was as I was writing the rest of the books, I would go and listen to her read the first earlier books, and it would like bring me back into the world. And she actually reads my Lila Love series too under another pen name, or I don't know that you call it a pen name when they're narrators, but under another name. And I did the same thing with that. It's like, oh yeah, okay, I remember all the details so well, and she pulls me back in the world. And I love that actually. When the narrator makes my world seem better than I thought I made it, I'm like, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah, when my Moon series came out in audio, Audible did it like, I don't know, 3 years after the books all came out. So when I was listening to them, it was, years since I had written them, and hearing the narrators bring everything to life, I was like, wow, I thought it was really cool.
It is, and it feels so special to have them turn it into their, version of it and to do it so well. What I thought was so incredible about the way Grace Grant read my Inside Out series is there's two male characters that are so, dominant in their own ways, and but so different too. And she did those male characters so well. I was just, and so I got to meet her when I was at Rare in London a few months ago, and I raved. I was like, I just love you. You did such a great job for me, So that was pretty cool to get to meet her in person. Back in the day, we didn't get to do that, but now the way the publishing world's changed, we actually get to meet our narrators. That's a pretty cool thing too. you know.
Yeah.
And readers
I think it's
get to
amazing.
meet them too. Yeah, and readers get to meet them too. And some of them have such a fan base just from the readers are like, I can't wait to meet this narrator, you know?
Right. When I went to the final RT book conference, they had a whole narrator's track there, and it was so interesting hearing from them because they have fan bases now who, you know, will buy the next book even though they don't know who the author is, but they love that narrator, so they want to hear that story. I was like, wow, that's so amazing. It's a great way to find new authors.
Yeah, my husband buys all his books off of who the narrator is, and I have a couple narrators who read my books that I try and get them regularly because, like, my readers know that's who it's going to be, and they just do such a great job. Jason Clark and Aaron Mellon read a lot of my books, and they do such a great job. But then, I mean, there's so many. Joe Arden. The Truth About Cowboys is coming out, and my first time to have Andy Art. I'm so excited about that. She's
nice.
such a great narrator. If you haven't ever listened to an Andy Art book, you should, because she will make the book so real and so alive. It's just, she's really, really special.
When you do your indie book releases, do you do the audio yourself? Do you get to pick the narrator and do the whole thing yourself?
I don't. Everything I do is contracted through Audible, but I've done so many with them that they pretty much let me pick the narrators, or at least a lot of times it comes down to their schedules. So, like, the reason The Truth About Cowboys is coming out in February and Tangled came out sooner is I wanted Andy for that so badly, and I met her at Rare in London. I'm like, I want you for this so badly. And she's like, well, it's going to be like, after the first of the year. I'm like, that's okay. I mean, it'll make the book so amazing. And so that's how it ended up coming out second. But I mean, again, reading order doesn't really matter. Their stories really stand alone. You do meet Rourke from Tangled Up in Christmas and The Truth About Cowboys, but I mean, I don't think it'll affect anybody's, listening enjoyment if they wanted to listen to Tangled first, because we also wanted Tangled to be out quickly because of the holiday,
Right. Yeah, because you want to read a Christmas book at Christmas time.
Yeah. So that's why we made that decision. But again, the narrators, I mean, I've gotten where if it's an Andy Arndt book, I'm going to get it. I mean, that's how I pick my audio now. I get so little time to listen because of my writing schedule. Right. So I'll listen when I'm on the treadmill and stuff. So I'm like, okay, what did Andy just release? So she's great.
Oh, that's so cool. So you're doing it too, the narrators that you like. It doesn't matter what the book is. You're going to try that, try it because you like that narrator.
Yeah, and my husband's always like, you have to get this narrator for one of your books. I'm like, I mean, he's like, he loves his narrators. He's obsessed. I met my husband at a Barnes & Noble. So needless to say, we were kind of in Austin, Texas at the Arboretum. So we were kind of a good match from the standpoint of he loved books, going right into it. So,
that's cool. My husband, I met him in a writer's group. So it's good to have somebody who likes books and understands how crazy it is to be a writer.
It is. I mean, we have such a secluded life at home. To have somebody who really understands what we're going through and appreciates it really matters. I mean, I plot with my husband all the time, and when I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to make my deadline, I have this and that, he's like, do you want to talk about it? And I'm like, no, you can't talk to me about this because it's, this or that or whatever, like it's sex or something like that. I'm like, no, I just have to figure this out. People think that writing the sex scenes might be the easiest part, but to me, it's the hardest because, I mean, the thing is, a sex scene only matters if it somehow moves the character's growth along. Otherwise, it's just sex. And so that means that every time you write one, you have to really be in the emotional place that those characters are and figure out why. And if the sex scene doesn't have that emotional growth, then it shouldn't even be there.
Right.
At least that's my opinion. So I mean, those usually take me the longest to write. So he'll say, because he's really great at helping me plot things that are, suspense, like my suspense plots and things like that. He's really great at helping with that. But I mean, when it comes to the sex scenes and stuff like that, I'm all on my own.
Well,
and,
do you typically
you're a writer,
plot your book
sex
first?
scenes are hard.
Right, they are.
They are. It depends on the book. I have some straight thriller stuff, and for those, I plot in advance because it just really makes it easier. But like Inside Out, it's a long series, and it was a thriller as well. And I knew what was going to happen, but how to get there kind of happened, little things like little clues like roses here or something like that. It came to me as I wrote it. So a lot of times, if you plot it, it changes anyway. So I think with my longer series, I do less plotting than when it's a single title thriller. The single title thrillers I really need to know. With the romances, I don't. I kind of just go, especially straight single title, I go with where it takes me.
Yeah, I'm not much of a plotter. I usually know beginning and end, and then I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get there. But I have learned to trust. In the beginning, it was really scary, but I've learned to trust the writer intuition that, it's going to be better than what I thought it was going to be, so go with it, and it always surprises me, and it makes writing thrilling, even though I'm sitting alone in my corner.
I do think it does. I mean, I've said that you hit the nail on the head. I've said that to other people that, if I don't really know everything that's going to happen, then I'm discovering it, and it makes the process more interesting and fun. And, if you know everything you're writing, you're just writing to an outline. Sometimes that can just seem like, okay, well, I know what I'm writing. And maybe
now it's a term
even
paper.
To some degree. Yeah, it's a term paper, exactly. Also, does it limit where you let your mind go for the characters, something you wouldn't have thought of before? I think sometimes it can. Although, some writers, if they hear that you don't plot, they're like, oh my God, that just gives me,
right?
a panic attack just thinking about that.
Right. I have a friend who plots it out in colored note cards, so she knows the emotional thing, and she looks at how I write, and she's like, ugh. So everyone's different.
Yeah.
There is no right or wrong way.
Yeah, when you're with a group of authors and you're talking about that, you just see the people who are like, oh my God, I can't believe you do that. But yeah, what's funny is, so my Amy Benson series, which is recently optioned by Passion Flakes, so it's a 4-book series.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. So when I got to the end of book 1, I was like, I knew what the cliffhanger was, but I'm like, oh my God, I do not know where I'm going with this. I hadn't had plotted it out at all. And so I never talk about reviews, but in this particular review, there was somebody who said, it's so predictable. Of course, you know exactly what's going to happen. I'm like, oh my God, can I email her and ask her what she thinks is going to happen? Because maybe it'll give me some ideas.
Please tell me.
I really did. And the only other review I've ever talked about, because I thought it was so funny, and because all you could do is laugh, is I wrote this earlier Texas series, and I actually wrote it about an actual place, in a skydiving place in San Marcos. I renamed it and all, though. But San Marcos is about 45 minutes from Austin. And anyway, so the person was like, and I wrote all kinds of things that I knew, like my neighborhood, all kinds of things about Austin. And the person was like, I don't think she's ever even been to Texas. She doesn't even know.
Oh, no.
Of course, I grew up in that exact area I wrote, I grew up with, in the kicker school and all that, and I chuckled. I mean, but I never talk about reviews other than those two because they make me laugh. I mean,
yeah, right.
With reviews, you have to. Some people will love you, some people will hate you. One of the things I know that you learn early in your career is you just have to know that you can't make everybody happy, but you try really hard. And
we try really hard.
Yeah. I mean, we try so hard. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you don't want one single reader to be dissatisfied, but it's just like, I love this TV show and somebody else hates it. You can't ever completely do that. But, all you can do is when you go into the book is try your very hardest to make it something that everyone can enjoy. But I mean, it's like 50 Shades. Some people were crazy about it, and some people thought it was absolutely horrible. I mean, there is nothing, no matter how successful it is, that you will not have a situation where some people love it and some people hate it.
Right. Before my first book came out, I stumbled across, and I wish I knew the author's name, but I can't remember, but I stumbled across a blog called Some People Hate Chocolate, and she was talking about how her husband hates chocolate, doesn't just not like it, hates it. And she's like, she realized at that point that if some people can hate nature's perfect food, there will definitely be people who hate your book. Yeah. Oh, so you know one. So if they can hate chocolate, of course someone can hate your book, and that made me feel so much better. I'm like, wow.
That's a great way of
because I
looking
love
at it,
chocolate.
Isn't it? I know.
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
you can't please everyone.
Would be that crazy. Obviously, there's somebody other than my mother, but I was like, only my mother can hate chocolate. But
yeah, this woman's husband. Yeah.
That's crazy. There's two of them in this world.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you have, and the thing is that you can, I've had those moments where, oh my God, I love this book so much. I want everyone to read this book. I think Linda Howard's Mr. Perfect is one of those books for me. But there'll be some people who still, I've looked at the reviews and some people didn't like that book. I'm like, how could you not like Linda Howard's Mr. Perfect? It's like one of the most perfect books ever. But I get it. It's a little dated now. Like it has some things like that now would probably be, somebody smacked somebody on the ass in the office or something. And of course, the person in me who owned a staffing agency and who was all HR would be like, oh my God, you can't smack somebody's ass. Right. But I mean, the book is just great. So we all, even knowing that, you have something that you love so much, somebody's not going to like it,
Right. My favorite Dean Koontz book was Door to December. It was so fabulous. It was just figuring it out till the end was amazing. And so anyway, when my husband and I first got married and we're pooling our books on the bookshelves, I told him, oh my gosh, you have to read this book. You have to, and you have to love it. And he's like, okay. So he starts reading this book, and he peers over the book at me, and he goes, okay, I keep popping out of the book because the police detectives are looking for phone booths to make a phone call. I'm like, oh my gosh, I might be a little dated.
So old. Yeah, God, I'm aging myself, but I remember when I have this memory when I owned my staffing agency. I was in San Antonio, where I had an office. Freezing cold for Texas that day, and I had to go to a payphone to make a call, and I'm like, oh my God, that was my life, and here we are.
Yeah.
And now I seem really ancient just talking about how I had to go to a cold phone booth to make a phone call.
Right, right. How did we live without cell phones?
I don't know. That's what's crazy is I don't know. But yeah, movies and television. I mean, just the other day, my husband and I were talking about the plot of movie and how it would have completely been changed in today's times because cell phones and all that. It actually, people don't realize how much that affects our writing. I mean, because
it does.
I mean, it's much trickier for suspense plots and things like that because, it's
you have to get rid of that
cell
phone.
phones and all.
Yeah.
You do. When I wrote Inside Out, there's a scene where she's stuck in the storage unit, and it's like, okay, she does have her cell phone. So what am I going to do about that?
Right.
And it does light up. So, yeah, it is a dark storage unit, but
now
you can
wet.
use her phone. Yeah, there you go. Now it's wet. But now that doesn't even work. Now they're waterproof.
Right. Oh my God.
Yeah, I just got a new cell phone because I had dropped mine in the toilet. Now that my husband's like, okay, we've solved that problem. That won't be a problem.
Yeah, pretty soon it'll be hard to write thrillers.
Yeah, I dropped it in the toilet. Fortunately, it was a clean water toilet. However, it was in a restaurant. So I had to reach my hand in a restaurant toilet to get my cell phone out. I was like, this is the most disgusting thing ever.
The worst.
I want to go back to the table and eat.
Well, on that note, I hate that it's the toilet that we're ending on, but we're running out of time.
What better way to end? Merry Christmas. We have a toilet story.
Well, can you really quickly let everybody know how you like readers to get in touch with you?
Sure. I'm on Facebook, author Lisa Renee Jones. I'm on Instagram where I post mostly funny stuff, and that's author Lisa Renee Jones as well. And then my website's lisareneejones.com, and Twitter, same thing. And I'm always online. I have a private reader group too. That's Lisa Renee Jones Insider Readers, which is on my website, and I communicate with everybody all the time. So. Love to hear from you and talk to you.
Thanks so much for being on today.
Thanks for joining us on Booklights. Be sure to connect with us at www.readersentertainment.com for articles, blogs, videos, and podcasts that matter to readers.
From the excitement of nominations to the applause after the opening of an envelope at the big award shows, The Hollywood Reporter is your source for the inside scoop on the moments leading up to and celebrating the wins of your favorite films, actors, and all the people that made them. Follow the race at HollywoodReporter.com for predictions, reviews, and voters. Check out the THR Awards Hub for everything you need for award season coverage. Visit THR.com today and subscribe to our newsletters so you don't miss a beat.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.